Hello and welcome to the Lake Cumberland District Health Department new series, Teach Me, Love Me, Care for Me. I'm your host, Amy DeCesare. During the course of our program, we will be talking with a family that has a child somewhere in the age range of your child. We'll be getting an inside look at these families' experiences in raising their children, the challenges they face, what they're learning firsthand, and how they will continue to grow and develop as a family. In each segment, we'll provide information which will help you learn more about nutrition, exercise, and nurturing, and what is specifically needed for the overall development of your child for their particular age group. In the 0 to 4-month-old category, we will introduce you to Brad, Jessica, and Luke. This mom put a lot of time into researching the value of breastfeeding for their son, and she will share her insights. No matter how old you are, the most important factor in your well-being is nutrition. Actually, that's even true before you're born. If the mother is eating healthy, the baby is eating healthy. But once your baby's born, then what is most important? To answer that question and give you some more very important nutrition information, here's Melinda Osborne, nutritionist with the Lake Cumberland District Health Department.
The most important part of your baby's nutrition after the child is born is the mother's milk. That's been true since the beginning of time. First of all, it contains the fat content and some essential acids your baby needs for early development. It also transfers some of mom's immunities, and that helps the baby avoid some childhood illnesses like ear infections and could possibly reduce the baby's risk for allergies. So we strongly recommend breastfeeding for the first year. But if you choose not to breastfeed, iron fortified formula is recommended for the first year.
I chose to breastfeed because it's the best thing for Luke. It helps with their immune system, their development. I've done a lot of research. It has the best components in it that are made up just specifically for the baby. It really wasn't a hard decision. It was an easy decision, and honestly, if you look at it, you also save money, which isn't the reason you should do it, but it helps also when you have a new little one. But like in his daycare, everybody's had RSV. He's the only one that didn't have it. It could be contributed to being breastfed where the other kids were bottle fed, the immune system that he's built up. The mother's nutrition is very important when breastfeeding, and actually not so much for the baby, because the baby will take everything that it needs from you, just like when you're pregnant, but you will get a deficit in areas if you're not eating correctly. So you need to make sure that you balance out your diet, and then you also have to watch how your baby acts after he eats. A lot of times, I know when we brought Luke home, dairy products, he couldn't handle them, his stomach couldn't take them, so you have to eliminate dairy products and then supplement with a vitamin or something like that. Now he's been diagnosed with acid reflux, so now I have to watch any carbonation, no carbonation, watch your leafy greens. But you need to make sure that you're eating a healthy balanced, because you don't want to eat pure fat, fast food or something like that, because that's not easy to digest on their stomachs. Also, you have to remember that they've never had anything to eat, so their digestive systems aren't developed, so you have to make things easy on their stomachs. And you can take cues when they cry after they eat or they draw their legs up. And keep a food diary, which is something I'm getting ready to start, so that I can keep track of what I've eaten and, okay, that's hurt his stomach, giving him gas.
If this is your first child, if you didn't already know, you're finding out there is one thing that babies do extremely well. Babies cry. It's their only form of communication right now. So take time to figure out just why they're crying.
It's easy to figure out what the cries mean. I mean, generally, we know that he eats every 3 hours. We know that he naps as soon as he eats. He never cries when his diaper's wet, so you just have to check him.
Yeah, every 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah, you just gotta make sure. But once you become a parent, you understand your child. You have a connection with your child that you can tell what's really bothering them.
we can tell if it's a painful cry or a, I need something cry, or if it's just a, I'm bored, come get me, come hold me type
Yeah.
cry. You can just tell which one it is and how much leeway you can give it. Of course,
To sit there.
it's tough to sit there and let him cry and not pick him up. So.
If the baby's been fed recently, it could be gas. If it's been a while since the last feeding, it could be time for a diaper change. Babies do have small stomachs, so they require smaller and more frequent feedings than we do. But there are actually other signs besides crying to look for that tell you that your baby is hungry. They may toss around after they wake up, sucking on their fist is another sign, and fussiness before they start crying is another. And really, it's best to react to these early signs and don't wait until the baby is crying hard before you feed them. After a period of time, you should be able to see early signs. But remember, just because your baby is crying, it doesn't necessarily mean they're hungry. Also, some safety precautions to take when feeding your baby are don't put your baby to bed with a bottle. Don't lay the baby down and prop up the bottle while feeding. And don't start solid foods until the recommended time, which you will learn more about in the next video of this series.
We would never put him to bed with the bottle. Choking hazard, for one, but it also can rot the teeth out that haven't developed. And people don't realize, just because their teeth aren't visible, that they're still there. They develop in the womb. So it's just very dangerous. We would never.
Never crossed our minds, actually. I've never heard of it, to be honest with you.
Finally, if you're bottle feeding, never heat a bottle in the microwave because inconsistent heating of the formula could cause the baby to burn their tongue or their mouth.
Thanks, Melinda. Moms and dads, it is very clear there are some important do's and don'ts to get your child off to a good start with regard to their nutrition. When we return, your child is so small, but is it already time to develop exercise habits? What are appropriate exercise habits to develop for your child? We'll have more when we return. Exercise. It's something that we know we need as adults to be healthy, but what about your baby? You wouldn't think simple exercises could have such a great impact on your baby's life, but the fact is they're very important in this stage of their development. The TLC Playtime program is basically an exercise program for babies. Let's find out more about what you should do and what you should expect so you can make sure your baby becomes stronger and healthier. Here's Jackie Hodges, personal trainer and health educator with the Lake Cumberland District Health Department.
TLC Playtime helps develop strength, balance, movement, and coordination. This early stimulation is very important to your baby's development because there are so many benefits, not the least of which are stimulating brain activity and, most important, giving you a way to bond with your child. When beginning the program, remember to start out slowly. You don't want to overwork your baby. Then work your way up to about 20 to 30 minutes a day and have fun.
Your influence when you're teaching exercise to your children is really important because, like I said, they mimic everything that you do, and it's only going to help him, later on in life. If he plays sports or whatever, he'll have the coordination he needs to play baseball, basketball, football. Not only that, it gives you an advantage as you get older. Your life expectancy skyrockets because the shape that you're in and the lifestyle that you have. The better shaped you are, more likely diseases and things like that aren't going to take over your body. So it's very important to have that type of mentality as you're growing up and as you're teaching your children.
exercise is a learned habit, basically. And so if he learns from us that exercise is important, then he's going to understand and do it for the rest of his life, which is very important.
As you continue to work with your baby, you should be able to see several improvements. For instance, they should be able to hold their head up better, they should be able to control movement of their arms and have improved fine motor skills. They should have increased neck strength and more strength in their shoulder and tummy muscles. And finally, increased neck strength improves the ability to swallow without choking and allows them to have the increased ability to vocalize. And what makes setting this time aside to exercise with your baby even more fun is that you can see the progress and feel good about your baby's growth, as well as take pride in the fact that you've taken an active part in your baby's physical development.
Thanks, Jackie. As you can see, exercise is just another one of those important building blocks in the overall physical development of your new baby. Also, you're beginning to develop habits which can last a lifetime and help to improve the quality of your child's life. When we return, what is nurturing? Stay with us. In our lives as adults, there is no question that feeling safe and secure is very important to us. It should come as no surprise that the feeling of being in a safe, secure environment is a critical aspect of the development of your baby. For more information on the importance of creating a nurturing environment for your child, again, here's Jackie Hodges with the Lake Cumberland District Health Department.
It is a proven fact, one of the most important parts of baby's early development, almost as equally important as nutrition, is taking time to nurture your baby. You have to remember that your baby has just come from a completely enclosed environment where it was warm and safe and basically didn't have to think about anything.
It's important for dads to have that nurturing aspect to their character because they expect the mother to do it all. I mean, it's all on the mom. You know, you don't see a lot of dads doing that. They play the tough guy role, the disciplinary role. It's very, very important for dads to tell their kids that they love them.
Now your baby is dealing with sounds, very limited sight, and it needs the reassurance that all of these things are okay. That's where you come in. Take that extra time to purposely nurture your baby. For instance, take every opportunity to sing to your baby during bath time, while dressing them, even while changing their diaper.
Luke has started to sing, especially when he is going to sleep now. He has learned to mimic singing. We do sing to him. And of course we go to church, and so he hears that singing. And I think he enjoys it.
The church we attend is all a cappella. Church of Christ, we sing no instruments. And it's funny because before the singing starts, he'll be talking and everything, but as soon as it starts, he gets real still.
And he really listens to it.
This is cool. He's really taking it all in. As soon as we stop, he's like, all right, let's do it again. He gets really, really bored, after the singing stops. So he really listens.
Also, take time to cuddle. Cuddling gives your baby that womb-like security that it may be missing. And you might be surprised that cuddling and snuggling may actually do more for you than it does for them.
I'm the world's worst because I like to sleep with him in the recliner. That's fun for me because he gets up at night and I'll hold him right there. His mom gets mad at me for doing it. What's your fun time snuggling?
I snuggle with him at night before he goes to bed. that's our time. He takes his bottle, I read him a book, and then, you know, he snuggles up with me and I rock him to sleep and he hugs on me. I think when a baby is snuggled, they feel very safe. Touch is a very big part of a baby's life. And so if you're holding them and snuggling them and touching them in a sweet way, then they correlate that with love and safety.
It's also great to do a little face play each day. Make faces, pucker your lips, puff out your cheeks, stick out your tongue, and hold the look for a while and see if the baby tries to imitate you. Yes, you may think it looks silly, but to a baby, you look like $1,000,000 because you're giving them the attention they need.
I'm firmly convinced that Luke thinks I'm a complete idiot when I'm talking and playing with him, because he looks at me like, you're a nut.
But he has so much fun.
Yeah, and he just laughs the entire time. But, you know, after a while, he's like, okay, you can't be sane. This is ridiculous.
And it's fun because the first time, you know, we were being silly and playing around with him, and he laughed for the first time. And then, of course, that was just great and wonderful, that feeling of he made a real noise. And it's fun to just talk to him and make silly faces. And he's actually started trying to mimic silly faces, which is kind of funny. You know, he'll do it in real slow motion, but it's really cute to watch him laugh.
Are you seeing a pattern developing here? Babies need good nutrition, exercise, and nurturing to develop properly. Your baby's needs are basically very similar to the needs of adults. They just need a bit more of everything, and you have to help them out since they can't do these things on their own. And just like adults, after all their activities, babies need rest, but again, much more of it. Where adults should get preferably 8 hours of sleep, newborns need 15 to 18 hours of sleep per day in order for the brain to develop properly and create the all-important networks within their brain they need to be able to learn.
Luke sleeps very good at night. He started actually sleeping through the night as soon as we moved him to his bed. He wasn't a pack and play in our room. As soon as we moved him to his bed at 2 months, he started sleeping through the night. And there's times where we have to get up and we'll soothe him a little bit and he'll go right back to sleep. It's very rare that he wakes up and is up for a long period of time. Now naps, that's a different story. He's not a napper. 20 or 30 minutes and he's good. But that's okay because he sleeps through the night, and I know that's what every parent's dream is.
Also remember, about half of that sleep will come from naps, while the other half will come from baby's natural sleep cycle. Always remember to place your baby on its back to sleep, and remember, giving the baby a pacifier can help put baby to sleep. Both putting your baby on its back and giving them a pacifier at sleep time has been shown to decrease the rate of sudden infant death syndrome, or SIDS.
Thanks, Jackie. As you know, babies can't care for themselves. They depend on us to nurture them and give them our best.
What we want for Luke in life is the most advantages that we can give him, whether that be nutrition or exercise, family values, education, church. We just want him to grow up and have a happy life, and hope that we have been able to do everything to give him the most advantage to having a fulfilled life and be able to fulfill any dream that he wants to.
And that we love him.
Our thanks to Brad, Jessica, and Luke for letting us share some time with them and their family for this portion of our show. Babies may not be able to speak the words, but each time you look into their eyes, you know what they're saying. Teach me, love me, care for me. Thanks for watching the program. For more information, be sure and refer to all of the materials on nutrition, exercise, and nurturing provided in your kit by the Lake Cumberland District Health Department. We'll see you again soon in our next edition of Teach Me, Love Me, Care for Me.